You are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people.
Dave Chappelle's latest run of specials has everyone talking, laughing, and, well, some people fuming. But here's the question, is Dave Chappelle a comedic genius holding up a mirror to society? Or is he crossing the line? Let's find out as we unpack his savage roast of woke culture. Dave Chappelle has always had a knack for turning complex social issues into biting, laugh-out-loud commentary. In his latest special, The Dreamer, he takes us on a metaphorical car ride through the LGBTQ+ community. And let's just say, it's a trip you won't forget. Picture this, a car packed with the letters of the LGBTQ+ acronym, each representing a different group. According to Chappelle, it makes sense because, as he puts it,
my guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads. In fact, we built these roads. The rest of you buckle up, we'll get you to where you want to go. So the G's are just driving the car. Of course, next to the G's in the passenger seat is the L's. Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. I don't know what that's about. I just know the G's don't like them that much. The G's always say like little subliminal digs on them. It's not mean, but you know what I mean? They just be like, I wouldn't wear that. The only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. If it's one thing that the L's and the G's agree on, is that the B's are gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the back seat like, yeah, man, I'll fuck anybody in this car. What's going on, man? And sitting next to the B's, all the way in the back seat by themselves, looking out the window, that's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's.
Chappelle's car ride metaphor isn't just funny. It's a sharp commentary on the complexities and tensions within the LGBTQ+ community. But Chappelle didn't stop there.
I'd like to start by addressing the LGBTQ community directly. And I want every member of that community to know that I come here tonight in peace. And I hope to negotiate the release of the baby. The baby was the #1 streaming artist until about a couple weeks ago. He took a nasty spill on stage and said some wild stuff about the LGBTQ community during a concert in Florida. Now, you know I go hard in the paint, but even I saw that shit and was like, God damn, the baby. Ooh, he pushed the button, didn't he? He pushed the button, punched the LGBTQ community right in the AIDS. Can't do that. But I do believe, and I'll make this point later, that the kid made a very egregious mistake. I will acknowledge that. But, you know, a lot of the LGBTQ community doesn't know the baby's history. He's a wild guy. He wants and him in Walmart. Oh, this is true. Google it. The baby a nigga in Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. In our country, you can nigga, but you better not hurt it.
He hilariously unpacks the double standard in our culture, pointing out that DaBaby can apparently shoot someone in a Walmart with no consequences, but make one wrong comment and boom, his career is on life support.
It's like that white black bitch that's in the news all the time. Rachel Dolezal. She always says that. She's a white woman, but then she dressed up like a nigga and shot her way up to the very top of blackness. And I always wanted to meet her just so I could understand. I just wanted to like have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes and call her a nigger to her face. The f that bitch talking about? I identify black. That is trans talk, ladies. Stop biting. Stop biting. There's a big difference between her and a trans. The difference between her and a trans is I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Them niggas cut their off. That's all the proof I need. I've never seen somebody just throw their away. Don't need it.
One of the most fascinating moments in Chappelle's special comes when he talks about Daphne, a transgender woman who attended 4 of his shows in one weekend.
There's a trans woman sitting in the audience. This is a true story. This was like a few weeks ago. I did 6 shows that weekend. This trans woman came to 4 of them. Calls herself Daphne. Man, this chick Daphne was in there cracking up at everything I said about everybody. It was amazing. She was laughing, and it was fun to watch her laugh. You could tell she was letting go with something that was heavy, and she'd throw her head back, and she'd smile with all her teeth. She was having a great time. And the more fun she had, I felt bad, because I knew I had some trans jokes to unload. And I thought to myself, maybe I shouldn't say these jokes, because I don't want to, like, her evening up. She's having so much fun. But then I thought to myself, well, if I can't say it in front of her, should I say no? So I let her rip. To my surprise, Daphne laughed harder at the trans jokes than anybody in the room. In fact, everybody in the room would look at her to make sure it was okay. I got off stage, I was in the dressing room, I was like, man, this is a weird show. I'm sitting in the dressing room by myself just trying to figure out, like, what the just happened out there? Like, why is it that this one woman can't take any of these jokes and Daphne can take all of these jokes? So weird. And then I realized, Daphne used to be a man. So now I go out of the dressing room and like you can see like all the staff was there like cleaning the club up, the audience had gone, and sitting at the bar by herself was Daphne. And she's like, hey, Dave, come join me for a drink. And I don't want her to think that I'm transphobic or nothing, so I'm like, I guess I could have at least a drink. And we get some tequila and we're sitting there. And she was cool. Turns out that Daphne, she wants to be a comedian. She was asking me for advice, and I told her advice and all that. And then she says to me, she says, boy, you sure do get a bad rap for your trans jokes. I said, Daphne, thank you, but you don't have to say that. I hope I didn't offend you. She goes, no. She said, in fact, I read about you in the New York Times. I said, you did? She said, yeah. She said, I thought it was interesting that they blamed you for R. Kelly. They said you normalized him for telling jokes about him. I go, yeah, they said that. She goes, I wonder why they never said that you normalized transgenders by telling jokes about us.
Chappelle, however, seems unbothered by the criticism. In The Dreamer, he acknowledged the tension, saying,
But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people.
In The Dreamer, Chappelle also revisited his fascination with Caitlyn Jenner, the former Olympic athlete and reality TV star who came out as transgender in 2015.
I felt bad that I made somebody else feel bad. To be honest, I don't even know what I said that upset that person. I have so many transgender jokes. But I feel like it was probably this joke I'm about to tell you right now. And it's not even that bad of a joke. It's a true joke. I mean, it's not true, but I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, f*** it, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck. You know, sometimes I just want to read some stats. I don't know why you're gonna cram some man in the middle of the sports page like this. I just didn't think that was the place for it. But I wasn't saying anything like Caitlyn Jenner's a bad person. I'm not mad at her for doing it. Not even mad at Sports Illustrated. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm probably just mad at myself. You understand? Because deep down, I know that I am not strong enough to not look at those pictures. And I don't think I'm ready to see what she's trying to show me. So Caitlyn, you better go hard or go home.
Chappelle's take on feminism is equally incisive, particularly when he addresses the racial tensions within the movement. He references Sojourner Truth's famous 1851 speech.
There's a problem in that feminist movement, isn't there? From its inception in America, there's always been a racial component. When Susan B. Anthony was having that meeting and Sojourner Truth's black showed up, read your history books. All them white women asked Sojourner Truth not to speak. They didn't want to conflate the issues of women's rights and slavery. But you know how black bitches are. Sojourner Truth went up there anyway. She did a famous speech. She said, "Ain't I a woman?" I supported the Me Too movement, but the whole time I thought that the way they handled that was stupid. They were going to the Golden Globes, and all of them would be like, let's all go to the Golden Globes and wear black dresses to give these men a piece of our minds. That is not gonna work. You think Martin Luther King's gonna be like, I want everybody to keep riding the bus, but wear matching outfits? You gotta get off the bus and walk. It's real talk. Real talk, that was a silly movement. I want everybody to wear crochet so they know we're serious. And then I said something about it in one of my specials, and all these women actresses came after me. I said, man, Phil, you canceled. I ain't to none of your pictures again. They were like, who is he to tell us anything? I'll tell you exactly who I am. I'm the one that got off the bus and left $50 million on the bus and walked. I agreed with these women. I just didn't agree with what they were doing about. Because if these women were serious, you know what they would have done? They all would have fired their agents. And they would have went to the mailroom of one of these big agencies and found a woman that was busting her hump in there and said, if you want to talk to us, then you have to talk to her. And if they did that, and she would be big, and they would be big, and nobody would get fed to Harvey Weinstein. But did they do that? No.
Abortion is one of the most polarizing topics in American politics, and Chappelle tackles it with his trademark irreverence.
Be real with you, and I know nobody gives a what I think anyway. I'm not for abortion. Oh, shut up, nigga. I'm not for it, but I'm not against it either. It all depends on who I get pregnant. I don't care, I'll tell you right now, I don't care what your religious beliefs are or anything. If you have a dick, you need to shut the fuck up on this one. Seriously. This is theirs. The right to choose is their unequivocal right. Not only do I believe they have the right to choose, I believe that they shouldn't have to consult anybody except for a physician about how they exercise that right. Gentlemen, that is fair. And ladies, to be fair to us, I also believe if you decide to have the baby, a man should not have to pay. That's fair. This I can at least abandon him. It's my money, my choice. And if I'm wrong, then perhaps we're wrong. Just figure that out for yourselves.
Chappelle's commentary on bathroom laws is both hilarious and thought-provoking. He references North Carolina's controversial 2016 law.
I am not indifferent to the suffering of someone else. There's laws, the mean laws in our country. North Carolina passed a law once that said a person in North Carolina must use the restroom that corresponds with the gender they were assigned on their birth certificate. No. No, that's not a good law. That's a mean law. No American should have to present a birth certificate to take a at Walmart in Greensboro, North Carolina with a baby. Like, let's say they designed this law to protect me, my interests. Transphobic comedian Dave Chappelle. And let's say that I'm in Walmart doing a little shopping with my family. And then I gotta go to the restroom. So I excuse myself from my family. I go to the men's room. Now I'm standing at the urinal taking a leak. And this is what this law is gonna do. And suddenly, a woman walks into the men's room. I'm gonna be like, that's strange. And then she stands shoulder to shoulder with me at the urinal. I'm gonna be like, what's going on with you? And then she hikes her skirt up and pulls a real live, meaty out. And what do you think I'm gonna say? Thank God she's in here with me. At least now I know my family's safe. No, I'm not gonna feel that way at all. I'm gonna feel very uncomfortable. I would feel better if it was a man with a vagina backed up to the urinal next to me. I wouldn't even think about that. I'd just be like, that's funny. This guy is peeing out of his butt for some reason. Oh my God, he must be a veteran. Thank you for your service.
Love him or hate him, Dave Chappelle remains one of the most fearless voices in comedy, a true master at using humor to tackle some of the most divisive issues of our time. Whether he's roasting woke culture, unpacking the complexities of identity, or simply making us laugh at the absurdity of it all, Chappelle proves once again why he's a legend. So what do you think? Is Dave Chappelle a comedic genius or a provocateur, pushing the limits too far? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of celebrity entertainment.